Good morning, everyone. Today we gathered here to have a session on leadership quality for startups. First of all, I would like to welcome our respected director, sir, Professor Dr. S.S. Tyagi, and our distinguished guest, Dr. Amit Rai, Dean Academics, College of Management, IMT. As we know that startup nowadays is a very important thing because we also have a opportunity for the student that they want to build their career as a good entrepreneur. And as we know that for a startup or for a successful startup, it is very important that a leader should have a demanded qualities like he should be a good motivator, he or she would be a good motivator, good team builder, and also work in any type of situation, because as we can see that a number of startup comes in the market, but only few of them can be survive and last for a long. So here we today just here to just with a session with our distinguished guest, he will just detail his experience with the student and try to motivate the student that they just come forward to build their career as an entrepreneur. And just I would like to brief about Dr. Amit Rai. He is a Dean Academics and IQAC head in College of Management. Also just worked with the various organization, reputed organization. He has been also awarded by the Career Launcher. He has a rich experience of research and academics, more than 30 years, and also been worked on various projects. So I just want to first of all ask permission from the director so to start the session and just come to say a few words for our student to motivate them and just welcome our guests to start the session. Director sir, please.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Naveen. So, first of all, I would like to welcome our today's speaker, Dr. Amit Rai, who is kind enough to uh, address our students on this topic of this leadership quality for startups. So, also congratulate Department of MCA, Dr. Naveen and his team and their students that they are getting benefited by our expertise, Dr. Amit Rai, who will be delivering a lecture today, what these qualities are required, leadership qualities for startups. Startups playing an important role nowadays. Even at the national level, we are uh, doing too much in this direction. There are a number of schemes are available, number of startups are already working, but still there are challenges which needs a leadership quality. Otherwise, you all know that very few startups are ultimately getting success, leads to a failure without a leadership qualities. So some things you should understand. These are those who are keen to be their own startup. They should understand what the leadership quality should have. It will definitely lead them to a right way. So without taking much of time, I welcome once again Dr. Amit Rai and start his talk. Thank you, Dr. Amit Rai,
Thank you, sir.
and good
First of
wishes.
all, I would like to thank you, Dr. Naveen Kumar Sharma ji and Dr. S.S. Tyagi, the Honorable Director of IMT College of Engineering, to giving me this platform to address the students on such a topic that incubation and early stage startup and the leadership skills that required nowadays. As you know, the competitions are getting tough day by day. Every day we are getting new challenges. Every day we are getting a new kind of problems. And due to the process of globalization, the earth seems to be shrink, and the presence of social media have raised the concern that the message passed on very swiftly. As far as concerned about me, my name is Professor Dr. Amit Rai. I am pass out from IIT Delhi and having experience in chemical science, in management, financial education. Along with that, I do have some excellency in data science and machine learning too. So today we will go for step by step what we should do to commercialize our product, and how do we start our business? What are the building blocks of that we can go for that? So let me share the screen first, and then we will go one by one. I hope my screen is visible to everyone. Mr. Dr. Ravi Sharma, kindly confirm me.
It is visible. Sir, you can
Okay.
continue, please.
Okay. So today's topic is session on leadership qualities for startup, incubation opportunities for students and faculties, early startup. So as far as concerned about the today's journey, if I talk about the students are having too much potential in terms of energy, in terms of their spirituality, in terms of their passion. So might be possible that the students in the current age of their education, they have very strong and sound technological breakthrough. Might be they are having an enough idea or very innovative idea, and they are having a certain passion to do something different, and they should want to differentiate themselves from the part of the class. They don't want to be the part of mass. So today innovation word are used like a buzzword, but the innovation is to do something different. And until or unless our invention is not commercialized, we can't put this invention into the category of innovation, because whatever we have invented, it's would be the solution of a problem. How specifically, how precisely we are giving the solution of someone's problem, that is our product. It is either in terms of service or either in terms of product. It may be tangible, it may be non-tangible, but any invention that we have made, if we couldn't commercialize it properly, that our innovation is not going to solve the purpose of the business world or the corporate world. So innovation need commercialization of invention that I have mentioned here. If I talk about Indian and innovation and ecosystem, the data I have taken from NASSCOM website. If we talk about the age distribution, the people, those who are above 25, above or equal to 25 years, they are 20%. Those who are doing entrepreneurship, the people in the age range of 26 to 30, they are in 31%. The people, those who are 31 to 45 years, are 44% segment, and more than 45 years are very few. If I talk about the 25-year segment, where the people are coming out from the colleges and they have plethora of energy, and they have zeal that I want to do something different. So these segment is quite interesting segment. If we success to convert these 20% up to 40 or 45%, that means we will definitely boost up the country economy. Because if I talk about myself only, if I want to go for a job, so I would like to see only one position. But if I become an entrepreneur and I create 1,000 jobs, that means I can satisfy the need of 1,000 people, those who are living for their bread and butter every day. So in spite of searching one position at a time, if I put myself in the category of entrepreneurship at the age of 25 or 30, then I can create thousands of new opportunities, and I can give the employment to the thousands of the people. So the segment 25 year is quite important, and government is looking to facilitate that segment. That's why they have started the Institution Innovation Council under the aegis of Ministry of Education. They have MIC committee, they have National Innovation Startup Policy, so that the students should come up in and they should go for the startup. They create the new ventures, they create the new positions, they create the opportunities for the upcoming youth, and the all of a sudden, the in spite of being job seeker, they should be the job provider. If I talk about student startup, this data belongs to 2016 and 17. In 2016, the student startup was registered 350, and by the establishing IIC Council or NISP, it increased 450 plus, and it was observed that 30% of year growth rate. So if I talk about in 2018-19, it would be 1,000, but due to COVID in 2020-21, it is not reach up to 30% year of growth rate. But definitely this year or upcoming this year, it will give you the more than 30% of year by year growth rate. So if I talk about educational qualification, the engineering graduate is uh, holding the driving seat of generating more and more startup. Out of 150% startups are generated by the engineering graduates, whether it is they are BTech or MTech, but 50% of the startup is governed by the engineering graduate. By engineering graduate, because the engineering graduate have the sharpest mind, and they have a different way of thinking, because they are sharpening their skills, they are facilitating their ideas, they are fabricating their ideas. And what they do, when they will learn from their engineering skills, they not only learn, but they also learn how to apply that skills to solve the real life problems. So to solve the real life problems, they use their technical abilities, they come up with the different kind of innovative products, like they come up with the new technology, they come up with the new software, they come up with the new kind of mechanical machineries. So with that prototype, they come up with the innovative idea, innovative kind of solution. So they are leading into the startup. Now 25% market of the, yeah, you mean say the 25% of startup is governed by the MBA. Those who have done MBA and those who are having the technical skills, they can go for the startup. And rest 25% includes the all, like all the programs, whether it's art, science, or BGMC or whatsoever. If I talk about the demographic segmentation of Indian innovation and ecosystem, entrepreneurial ecosystem, in 2017, 89% entrepreneurs were male and 11% entrepreneurs were female. In 2016, 90% entrepreneurs were male and 10% were female. And if you see my current slide in 2015, 16, and 17, you will observe that slowly by 1%, the female numbers are increasing. So becoming an entrepreneur is not a easy ride. It's a roller coaster job in which you have to find a plethora of up and downs, and the male are supposed to take more risk, like they are used to take the risk as compared to female, but now the female options are also getting increases. If I talk about the global scenario, here you can see in global, out of 100, 81% entrepreneurs belongs to the male segmentation and 19% from the female segmentation. So both male and female both are looking towards the entrepreneurship, but the number of female entrepreneurship is slightly lower as compared to male. So here I am not making any kind of discrimination. I am just giving you the data that I have fetched from the NESCOM site. Next to the site. If I talk about the population of my country, I have segmented the whole country population according to their behavior, according to their financial data, because in the present world, I have to deal with the people, those who are having ample amount of money in their pocket, and they are willing to pay to me for the product that I would like to sell or the services that I would like to give. So at present, this data I have taken from the, again, NESCOM, 130 crore is the population of the country. Out of that, 123 crore people having the Aadhaar card holders. That is not of my concern area whether they are having Aadhaar card or not. adult population is 80 crore. If I am making any kind of goods or services or products, those who were used by the adult segment, like if I talk about the manufacturing of automobile segment. In automobile segment, the government give only permission to those people, those who have cleared the age of 18 and they are eligible to drive, whether it's two-wheeler or four-wheeler. So if I talk about the automobile segment, so I do have only 80 crore people, those who are in adult segment and having the 18 plus age eligibility criteria. Out of 80%, only 75 crore people are having the bank account. Then again, it is not my cup of tea. Maybe possible they have their bank account 75 crore, but out of that might be possible that some of the people, those who are having the bank account, but even they don't have the enough balance in their account. So maybe possible they would have the bank account, but they don't might be my customer. So out of 75 crore, how many people are having the PAN cards? So again, I find out only 42 crore people have the PAN card. So my prospective customer is total 42 crore people. Now I have to focus or concentrate on 42 crore people if I want to set up a company or if I want to serve the nation countrywide. So what would happen? I will target the 42 crore people, those who are having the paying capacity to avail my services or to purchase my product. So these segmentation of the market has been done on the basis of their purchasing power parity. So if I talk about the registered taxpayer, only 8.5 crore people are the registered taxpayer out of 130 crore population of the India. So I can say the 8.5 crore people are the elite segment of the society, those who are having the ample amount of money and those who are ready to pay the money for my product and my services. So whatever product I will generate the product by keeping in my mind to the 8.5 crore people. So the segmentation of the market is done on the basis of three criteria. First one is psychometric, second one is demographic, third one is behavioral. So you can go for the segmentation of market because giving the segmentation of the market give you the broader idea about your business or your startup. Now we should go for the beginning. Innovation that I have told you, whatever invention you have done, you come up with the unique kind of solution, a unique way of thinking. You think out of the box and you come up with an innovative idea. Then it would go for the analysis. Whatever you think, whether it is feasible or not, then I will go for the design or ideation or sketches, because whatever I have imagined, I will check its feasibility, whether it is feasible or not. So I will go for the analysis. Once I will go for the analysis, I have designed, I have sketched, then I would go for the development team that I have conceptualized this kind of innovation. I have designed this, and this is the sketch of my imagination. Could we develop this imagination or the concept that I have drawn over the paper into a product? If my development team tells me that it is feasible, it can be developed into the prototype. So I would go for the prototype. Once the prototype is developed, I would go for the feedback. I will showcase my prototype to the limited audiences or limited people, those who are close to me, because they would give me the idea or feedback about my product, whether it is feasible, whether it is solving the purpose for that this product has been designed, whether this product is giving all the functional attributes, completing all the formalities or the process or the mechanism for which it is meant for. Then if there is any complaint or there is any drawback, or there is any kind of malfunctioning, so what I would go, I would send him again for the designing team. This is the drawback that I have got while uh, using this product. So what I should do, kindly remove this error or kindly rectify this error or kindly modify this part. So what the designing team or the development team will do, they will rectify, they will modify the product. Again, it will go to the development department. It will check whatever feedback that we have got about the malfunctioning or not properly working, whether it would be rectified or not. If it is rectified, then we will go for the market. When we go to the market, we will go for the market segmentation, that for what category of the market, for what segment of the market my product is suitable for. Who is the decision making authority, whether the parent will buy the product for their kids or the adult people will buy the products for themselves only, and for what purpose they would use my product. So these kind of initial concepts, you have to be think about the product, their segmentation, generating ideas. Then you will go for the validate market needs, whether the product and thing that I have conceptualized, whether it is actually needed in the market or not. Because if nobody need this kind of product and services, whatever investment I have made, whatever time I have invested, whatever energy I have invested, that all will go in vain. Because if nobody is willing to pay for my product and there is no need of such product, so for what and to whom I will deliver that product? It means I am blocking my capital. There is no need of such product. So before developing such product, you have to validate the market need, whether this kind of product or services is still required in the market or not. Then design solution, deliver demographic segmentation. Then again, you have to go for validate fit, because whatever product you have developed, if this product is any kind of hazardous side effect or not suitable or safety concern for the society, so what would happen? The product would not be validated by the government side, or the people would not love to buy that kind of product. Maybe you have listened about the concept when the aviation industry have banned the Samsung mobile phone, because those days the Samsung mobile phone battery were not supposed to find the safe for the flying in a aircraft. So that time the people, those who were having the Samsung mobile phone, they were not allowed to carry their mobile phone in with them, because the battery is supposed to catch fire. So they have totally banned the Samsung mobile phone. So you have to find out the safety concern, safety measure of your product before going to the market. Then you have to go for the sell and purchase phenomenon, and whatever issue you have find, you have to fix those issues. Now come to the strategic approach. So if you don't have any kind of problem, that doesn't mean you all are success people. The problems are bound to come, but the main thing is that how do we face it? So if you don't have any kind of problem, that doesn't mean you are success. You only have the feeling of the success if you know the mechanism to overcome the problems. If you are having the zeal and mechanism or the process to overcome the to overcome the problem, that you can say that I'm successful people. And it doesn't mean that how many times you fall, but after falling, you must have the knowledge to bounce back again. So sometimes we get the result according to our desired, according to our planning. But if we couldn't get the result according to our desired level, so we have to sometimes gulp the result. Gulp is kind of swallow hosting, means we doesn't want to swallow, but we have to swallow, because sometimes the reality is bitter and it is hard to swallow. So to become a successful entrepreneur, to become a successful any kind of professional, you have 5 Ds in your hand. First D stand for desire. You must have desire to do something. You must have proper direction in which direction you have to proceed. You have to deal with the diligence, that is hard work, your dedication towards your work, and that you must be disciplined, because if you are not dedicated, not disciplined, that means I will go for it for tomorrow. So tomorrow never comes, but day after tomorrow always comes, and that day after tomorrow always comes with your result. Because if you are not desirable, if you are not going in a proper direction, if you are not diligent, if you are not dedicated, if you are not disciplined, that means you are living your life in vain and you would not achieve anything, because you are just like a pendulum which does something but gets nothing. So next, analyzing the goal and its objective is the first concern. You should analyze your goal and what its objective. Then analyzing the internal environment. Internal environment, we have start up a company. We recruited the people and we have plenty of people, and we have the people in the different department. So we do have an internal environment. For that, we have to scan the internal environment. Suppose in any country or in any company, how many people are parasite, those who depends on others for their work. So what would happen? They would low down the effectiveness of the work of those people, those who are really working. So you have to go to the internal environment scanning, and you have to find out the people, those who are disengaged, those who are actively disengaged, the disengaged people, those who doesn't do anything. And actively disengaged people are ones, those who those neither do something and nor allow someone else to do something. Disengaged लोग वो लोग होते हैं जो अपना काम नहीं करते हैं, और एक्टिवली डिसंगेज लोग वो होते हैं जो ना तो खुद काम करते हैं और ना दूसरों को काम करने देते हैं. So you have to go for the internal scanning of the environment. Means whatever people you have recruited, in which what people is actively looking for the. Wait a minute, I am getting an important call. So up to how many people that I have recruited, what percent of people is a asset for the organization, and what percent of the people is the liability of the organization. And the people, those who are liabilities, they simply low down the morale of the organization and reduce the efficiency of the company. Now look the different side of the approach. Some people are supposed to be the top quality people of your organization, those who are performing very well. They always come giving the target on time. They are always completing their work on time. So slowly, your company is depending on that particular people that are top quality people of your organization. And these kind of people are most productive employee of your company. So the day this man or top quality people become most productive for your company, it would become the biggest threat for your company too. Because the moment this top quality people will leave the company, they will not go alone. They will take your client too along with them. So what would happen? You would lose your business. The client will go with them because he know the whole company operations are governed by these top quality people. So you have to deal with those people, both sides, the people, those who are neither active or disengaged, and the people, those who are top quality people. So you have to prepare a bench strength. So any top quality people leave the organization, you should have their backup those who will replace that particular guy within the same day, and the company's operation would not be compromised by anyone by all means. In that case, what would happen? The company would have the competitive environment in which each and every top quality people knows this man is my backup. Whenever I will quit the job, the second people is ready to take my position. In that case, neither the first one would leave the job, nor the second one would demotivated that I am not getting the position. So a healthy competitive environment is most essential thing. Whenever do your internal environment scanning, you have to go with that kind of phenomenon. Then analyzing the external environment, you have to deal with the outside people also for financing the people, those who will finance your business, those who will invest the certain amount of money in your company. How would you take the finance from the people? At what cost you will take the loan? Because you have to take the amount from the capital market on least interest rate, because IRR increasing. That means you whatever capital you have borrowed from capital market, it will create a financial liability on you. So in external environment, you have to find out financing possibilities from where I can get the finance for my company. Somehow you couldn't get the payment on time. On that time, what you are supposed to do? You will take the alternate position from what sources I can generate the fund to run my everyday operations. Then dividend policy, what kind of dividend policy you should have. Then you have to go with the decision making process. You have to find out the your raw material supplier. So for that you have to scan the supply chain management also. You have to find out the nearby supplier, because the supplier, those who are nearer to you, they can supply you the raw material on time, and that will reduce the transportation cost too. If the supplier is nearer to you, or that it may you don't need any kind of inventory, or it may low down your inventory carrying cost for just in time. So you have to do with the external environment too. Then in whatever segment you are dealing with the product or the businesses, what other companies are doing with the same segment, what are the substitute alternative of your product. In whatever technology you are dealing with, that technology is remain in the market up to what time, because any technology, those who have started today, it might end someday. So you have to prepare the alternate plan. Whenever this technology would be vanished out from the market, I have the second technology. For that technology, we could replace the previous one. So you have to go with the external environment. You have to go for the political environment scanning, with because the political environment is also affect the businesses by their policies, by their rules, by their terms and conditions. So political environment, then legal environment, then technological environment, then ecological environment. So you have to go for the both internal and external scanning of the environment to get the business done on a. Then assessing the intellectual capital that I told you in the internal environment. Intellectual capital means the human resource capital you are having. Those who are the top quality people, those who are the top performer of your company, you have to not only recruit that people, you have to retain that people too, because recruiting good people or the talented people in the company is not a big deal. The retention is more I can say important, the retention of that people into the company for a long time, for the long term benefit, because only then you can win the rat race of the companies, those who are dealing with the similar segment. Because if you recruited a good talent and that leave the company within a 1.5 month, then that means you have recruited a good people, but you doesn't retain them. So what would happen? You lost your time, you lost your energy, and you give 1.5 months salary, that all goes in vain, and you didn't get in return anything. So formulating business level strategies, you have to develop business level strategies at internal level or external level too. Then formulating corporate level strategies, the people, those who are working in your house, in your company. So you have to develop a strategies, the strategies that can motivate the people to give more and more productive solution, to contribute more and more towards the growth of the company, a kind of sense of belongingness. If the people are working only for their salary, so what they will do? They will work for you. Clear? So if they are working for the company for their salaries, so might be possible the people, those who will get a extra salary in some other company, they will switch over. But if you are developing a strategy within a company itself that gives a sense of belongingness for each and every individual, those who are working in a company, that means they will be connected with the company, and in that case they would not work for the salary, they would work and contribute towards the success of the company. And when they will contribute towards the success of company, it is a sure shot for the success of your company, because in that sense, if they have the sense of belongingness with their company, so what will do? They will put more and more efforts. They will come up with the extra time for the company, and they will give their 100%. So you have to go with your HR policy. How can we motivate my people? How can we give the fringe benefit to my people, those who are working in my companies? So strategic control and corporate governance. You have framed a policy. You have a very good business level strategies, but each and every company have black ships. Black ships or gray people, those people must be controlled by all means, because they interrupt your mechanism, they interrupt your governance, they leak out your policy, they might be retrenching the or giving you the wrong feedback about the processes. So you have a strategic control and corporate governance to overcome these kind of problems. Then strategic leadership excellences and ethics, that I am giving you a very much interesting example that people use, and this example is under 3 strategic innovation that I'm going to tell you right now. That is, you are seeing 3 logos here. One belongs to, the first one belongs to a Unilever company, a very renowned company. Second one is Procter and Gamble company. Third one is Colgate Palmolive company. If I talk about these 3 company, so these 3 company use in kind of detergent and soap segment. They are giving their services or product in cleaning, cleansing action. So they are preparing soap, bath, and shampoos, or bath foam, or you mean say cleansing product, those who are used for the cleaning purposes. And there is one more company here at the bottom, is Minnetonka. So if I talk about Unilever, Procter and Gamble, Colgate Palmolive, these are the big player of the market. These are the big giant of the cleansing segmentation of the market. Unilever, Procter and Gamble, Colgate Palmolive, they are not big giant in terms of monetary, even in terms of the workforce also. They are having huge setup, they are having huge warehouse, they are having uh, huge manufacturing setup, they are having ample amount of money in the reserve fund, and they have more quality assurance lab set up, those who are keep on doing R&D for their modification of the product. But if I talk about, there was one company, that is Minnetonka Corporation, established in 1979 or 1980s. put these three big giants on knees. How? Let me tell you. This mini Tonka company was established by Robert Taylor. Might be you have heard the name of the Robert Taylor. What he did, or in such a way that today we are discussing about him, and not today we are discussing about him, not only by we people, the people, those who are studying in Harvard Business Review, in Harvard University, they used to study the case study of that people, how strategically it moved that all three big giants come onto the knees, that I couldn't compete your product, kindly give me the licensing of your product. Because in 1965, a concept of liquid soap has been conceptualized and patented. So after 10 years of patent, if anything is beneficial for the human society, it would become the licensing free for all. So after 1965, after 10 years of patent, in 1975, it becomes royalty free and anybody can develop. So Colgate, Palmolive, Procter and Gamble, and Unilever or Softcorn, all four have equal opportunity to develop the liquid soap. But the Colgate, Palmolive, Procter and Gamble, Unilever were not thinking about the innovation and to introduce a new market in the product. They were dealing with the hard soap only. Here, if people come with the Robert Taylor that I can go into the market with the liquid soap. But if I talk about my company, Minnetonka Corporation, this company is very small as compared to Colgate, Palmolive, Procter and Gamble, or Unilever, because they are big giants in business and they are having more amount of money and they can replace me overnight. So what should I do that I can save my product and I sell my product? So what strategic move he has taken? If I talk about, you might have liquid soap in your home. So to use that liquid soap, you must require a dispenser pump to fetch out the liquid soap. So what he did on those days in US, only two companies are registered or patented to develop that dispenser pump. उन दिनों में यूएस में केवल दो कंपनी ऐसी थी जो पेटेंटेड थी उस डिस्पेंसर पंप को बनाने के लिए. सो रॉबर्ट टेलर ने क्या किया? रॉबर्ट टेलर ने उन दोनों कंपनीज को अप्रोच किया एंड व्हाट ही डिड, ही प्लेस्ड द ऑर्डर टू डेवलप 100 मिलियन डिस्पेंसर पंप. 100 करोड़ डिस्पेंसर पंप बनाने के लिए ऑर्डर दे दिया. अब 100 करोड़ डिस्पेंसर पंप बनाने के लिए जब उन्होंने ऑर्डर दे दिया और इन्हीं दो कंपनी को दिया, देयर इज नो अदर कंपनी अराउंड द वर्ल्ड दोज हु आर डीलिंग विद द फॉर्मेशन ऑफ और जनरेशन ऑफ डिस्पेंसर पंप. दूसरी कोई कंपनी अराउंड द वर्ल्ड नहीं थी. तो अब क्या था? 100 करोड़ डिस्पेंसर पंप इन्हीं दो कंपनियों को बनाना था. और अब इन कंपनियों के पास इतना टाइम नहीं था कि ये दूसरी कोलगेट, पामोलिव, प्रॉक्टर एंड गैम्बल और यूनिलीवर का ऑर्डर ले सके. सो व्हाट हैपेंड? लिक्विड सोप और डिस्पेंसर पंप पूरी तरह से रॉबर्ट टेलर के हाथ में आ गए. अब प्रॉक्टर एंड गैम्बल रिवर्स इंजीनियरिंग के थ्रू उस प्रोसेस को डिजाइन कर सकते थे, वो प्रोडक्ट डेवलप कर सकते थे, लेकिन वो बिना डिस्पेंसर पंप के लिक्विड सोप यूज कैसे कराते? तो उन्होंने क्या किया? रॉबर्ट टेलर ने 1 साल के लिए कोलगेट पामोलिव, प्रॉक्टर एंड गैम्बल और यूनिलीवर को मार्केट में आने से रोक दिया। और इस एक साल में उन्होंने 25 million US dollar, he has earned 25 million US dollar, approx 186 crore in 1980s. मैंने क्या बताया? अब now I am going to explain you step by step. Minetone का company want to launch liquid soap. If they doesn't go with that strategic move, what would happen? The big player, those who are having ample amount of money, having huge set of manufacturing and having large workforce or manforce, what they would do? They simply buy the product, they do for the reverse engineering, they copy it, and they simply, because it is that time after 10 years it was licensing free, so overnight they manufactured and they placed their product, because due to having their long retail power, they put their product in every corner of the country. Then who will go to buy the soft soap of Minnetonka Corporation? Nobody would love to buy, because that time this brand is even smaller as compared to Colgate, Palmolive, Procter Gamble, and Unilever. So Robert Taylor thinks only my product should be visible in all the places, and Procter and Gamble, Colgate, Palmolive, Unilever should not be visible and should not go with the first type of product, at least for 1 year, where my monopoly should reign. So he find out a way in which he know only two companies registered and patented to design dispenser pump, and he put 100 million order of that dispenser pump. So for 1 year, these two companies didn't take any other order from Colgate, Palmolive, Procter and Gamble. So for 1 year, the Minnetonka Corporation have the monopoly, and the people will love to buy the innovative product. Because if I talk about the soap bar, it is hard, and with that hard soap, there is no hygiene. Everybody use the surface of that hard soap. So the concept of hygiene was missing in hard soap. But in liquid soap, if you use the dispenser, the people every time get the fresh touch of that liquid soap. It is not previously used. So a kind of hygiene concept was introduced, and the people will love to buy that soft soap. So what will happen? In first year, he earned 25 million US dollar, that is approx 186 crore rupees in 1918, and definitely it was a very big amount in earlier 1980s. Then again, he has developed two brands, soft soap and village bath, and he sold both the brands to Colgate Palmolive in 61 million US dollar, that is approx 455 crore in 1983. Again, he has not only developed the product, earned the profit within the 1 year, and when more company has been established to develop the dispenser and the pump, he sold both the brand to a giant company, that is Colgate Palmolive. Again, he not only stopped there, he approached Unilever, and in 1987 he sold the Minnetonka Corporation to Unilever. And would you believe, in 1987 he not only sold the Minnetonka Corporation to Unilever, but he earned 361 million US dollar, that is approx 2,807 crore in 1987. So out of a very small company, due to kind of out of box thinking or smart thinking, he put the three giant companies, those who were earlier a very big company, they are dealing primarily in cleansing action segment, and they couldn't get the succeed to develop the liquid soap. And due to kind of unique way of thinking, he approached the dispenser company, put the order, and earned the profit 186 crore, 455 crore,
and 2,807 crore till 1987. So a giant profit he has produced. So let us know what is peculiarity of a product. Peculiarity means something different, but it must have a kind of sense. It should be going to solve the purpose of the people, for that they are purchasing that kind of product. Like if I talk about here in your screen, you are looking two segments in which the liquid soap, soft soap is placed and the bath soap is placed, and both the product having the same objective to give you the cleansing action. But in bar soap, every time the surface is rubbed by the different people, the same soap is used by the different people. So there is the no concept of hygiene. But in liquid soap, again, it is solving the same objective, but with different mechanism. Whenever somebody press the dispenser, only that amount of liquid soap comes to the hand, and this still the soap remaining in the bottle is untouched. So the concept of hygiene was totally present in the soft soap. So the peculiarity is what? Giving the same solution, but in a way which is more worthwhile. That is called peculiarity. Let me make it more clear. Here you are visualizing two bikes, and both the bikes are meant for the locomotion, for moving from one place to another place. Here in one picture is a bike which is placed in a giant wheel, in which a bike people will keep on revolving to move. In second bike, there is only one wheel on which a people is sitting, and both these products can be used to locomote from one place to another place. But do you think after moving from one place to another place, these people will have the feel of comfort? No, they would be too much tired. Even that product can be used for moving one place to another place, but somewhere the feeling of comfort is missing. Even it is peculiar, it is unique, but that uniqueness is there, not going to give the feeling of comfort. So whatever, in spite of being uniqueness, their uniqueness is a not solving the purpose. So what would happen? A feeling of uncomfort will generate, and the people would not love to buy that kind of product. Even they are giving you the transportation from one place to another place, but the people would not love to buy, because a feeling of comfort is totally missing in both the products. So this is kind of peculiarity. Means you give the solution or services or product which is unique, solve the purpose in a different way, but that makes some sense. It should not that you have make a unique, but it doesn't make any kind of sense. So peculiarity means to do something with a sense of giving something extra, that is adding value to your product. It doesn't mean that you have made a unique product, but your uniqueness is become a devastation of your product. Then utility, whatever your product you have generated, what is utility about that product? Peculiarity, that I told you. Distinguished feature, what kind of distinguished feature your product or your company is having that attract the attention of the buyers, those who are in the market. Why should I purchase your product or your services? Why should I pay certain amount of money for your product and your services? You must have a distinguished feature that is called unique selling proposition, that differentiate you from the rest of the product, those who are dealing in the same segment. That means something extra that add on to your product that people will go for your product to buy your product. Then ergonomics, how comfortably the customers or the users are using your product. If your product is too difficult to use, means what? The people will not love to buy your product. Your product should be user friendly. Your product should be user friendly, easy to handle, easy to carry, and it should not give any kind of discomfort to the buyers or to the user, to the customer. If the end user of your customer, that is end user of your product, is not satisfied with the services or your product quality or your product attribute, that what it go? It will go for the word of mouth negative publicity. And it has been found that one negative people make 8 extra people negative. So word of mouth negative publicity may ruin the brand image totally. So ergonomics means you should make your product user friendly, easy to handle, easy to use. Safety is one of the biggest concern. If you talk about the mobile phone that you are having in your hand, if the corner of the mobile phone is not curved, it is tailed, or it is kind of sharp, that what would happen whenever that mobile phone in your pocket, they nailed your skin, they cut your skin. So what the company do, they curve the corners so that it should not pin or nail your skin. So the safety is also one of the biggest concern for the company product or services. Part of your marketing strategy, how would you go for the market penetration, market segmentation, market growth? So you have to go with that policy aligns with the company motto. Whatever product you have developed, whatever services you are dealing, that align with your company motto or not, you must take care of that. Condition of a business, we can say that any company, any business is always considered to be successful a business when the customer or the end user are willing to pay for your services or for your product. If you have invented any kind of product but nobody is ready to buy your product, that means what? You have opened the business, but that business is not will go for a long run, because nobody is going to buy your product. So whatever money you have invested, you blocked all of your amount, and when nobody will ready to pay for your product and services, you will definitely have the cash scarcity, you will have the low cash inflow in your company. What would happen? You will feel, or you will face the liquidity deficiency in your company. You won't have enough amount of cash in your company to complete your day-to-day operation. In that case, what will you will do? You will shut down your all the operation, and the company is bound to lose all the businesses that you have developed, and you lost all of your investment that you have made. So the grim reality, it's a hardcore reality, but it's a universal truth. The grim reality is that most startup fails. There are 5 essential elements that lead to a successful startups. And one, that is idea. The second one is you should have a perfect team that execute whatever you have conceptualized. Then you have a very strong business model. Then funding support. Funding support, you have to go with the financial management very specifically, because you have debt recovery, credit turnover ratio, inventory holding time. You should have the fund and all the time, so that you can manage your day-to-day operation and the timing, the day of launching your product. If your product is desirable in the market and they are having demand in the market. If I launch my product in that time, the people would love to buy my product then and there, hand on hand. If I am try to sell the, let me give you an example. In a winter season, if I try to sell the goods that belongs to summer season, the people will not ready to buy, because that time is not a right time to place the product, because the need is, demand is something different. In a hot, if I offer, if I call it a scorching hot, बहुत ज्यादा गर्मी है जून में, और in a scorching hot, in a sunny area, if you offer somebody that you would have a cup of coffee, the people would not love to buy that coffee. In that timing, only the people wants only those drink, those who can give the cooling effect. So the timing is one of the biggest concern. At what timing you are placing your product or services in the market whenever it is required. So what makes startup succeed is Airbnb. It's a traveling agency. It's a successful startup. Here you can find out the marking done by the Idea Lab. Idea was 10, team 9 out of 10, business model 8 out of 10, funding 6 out of 10, and timing 10 out of 10. So it's ranked over 10. Then Instagram, then Uber. So these are the company, those who are considered to be the succeeded company, and their business model or their 5 building blocks are in front of your screen. You can find out the points given by the Idea Lab: 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10, business model 5 out of 10, funding 4 out of 10, timing 9 out of 10. Because now, why I'm saying that everybody is busy without business nowadays. Every people, those who are holding mobile phone in their hands, they keep on spending their mobile phones at least 1.5 hours every day on their mobile phones, and they used to scroll the screens, and the people spend at least 1.5 hours every day on the social media sites. So these social platforms have find out the latent hidden objective. The people want to project themselves as a star. So what they would do, they take the photographs, they post on the social media handles, they project themselves that the people should admire them, that I belongs to the class, I'm not the part of mass, I'm a classy people. So they find out that latent objective of the human being. So if I talk about Instagram, if I talk about Facebook, if I talk about any other social media sites on which the people are posting the contents, engaging the other people, giving content to see, watch, and gain the follower. So they have created a network, and what company gets, the company, after getting access to their mobile phone, they find out, they track your interest, they track your keywords, and they sell your data to the companies. Suppose in your mobile phone you are having WhatsApp or you are having Instagram. If you want to search a kind of services or a product, the same information goes to that company. This man or this IP address or this gentleman or this gentle lady is looking for that product. So within a fraction of second, you will find the ad of that product on your Facebook wall or your Instagram wall, because on that way they are making business. So in spite of you are, if I talk about you, me, or anybody else, we are the unpaid laborers of the social media sites. We keep on generating the content. We are pasting the content. We are keep on giving the timings to the Facebook, Twitter, and the YouTube, but the Facebook doesn't pay anything to me or nor you. The Instagram doesn't pay anything to me nor you also. The YouTube allow me to put my content over the YouTube that would involve or engage somebody else, but in return he only give a certain amount of money in terms of ad that the people would buy, see in between the my program. So content generation is that. Now these are the companies, those who were considered as a failure, that is Friendster, Zomo.com of Webwin. Friendster is a company that is the social networking site. It maybe say that the copy of Facebook doesn't succeeded. Then Zomo.com or Webwin.com, they were the company. You may say that these company were belongs to the e-commerce site, and they were promising that they would deliver the product you will purchase within half an hour of their purchases, but they couldn't meet the market requirement. And what would happen? To supply the product within half an hour of their purchase require lots of transportation cost, and that transportation cost couldn't manage by effectively both the companies, and those companies were drained out from the market. These some data I have taken from the Idea Lab, where you can say factors in success across 200 companies. The company, those who were succeeded, having the largest parameter, timing, those who place their product and services on right timing. The funding actually matters, that but it matters least, 14%. Business model 24%. Team member. So after timing, the team member is also a biggest factor, those who are giving their contribution towards the success of in a company. Idea, team, and the timing. These three are the most prominent building blocks about the successful startup. Vision, strategy, team, culture, market segmentation, feedback, business model, startup valuation, financing, venture deal, accounting, and you must have exit policies also, because once a product launch, that product will go for the declining stage or maturing stage. When your product becomes mature and it starts declining, you must have an exit plan, or you must have a alternate plan on which you can modify your product, that again make your product into the race, and you should not leave the market. That I told you in my previous lecture or in my previous slide. So one more, it's a portfolio management. Suppose I am dealing in a healthcare segment, or I used to design the product that belongs to diabetic check machine or blood pressure machine, or in medical equipment. What I'm saying, that portfolio management is also a biggest thing that we have to deal with it. अगर मैं मेडिकल इक्विपमेंट्स बनाता हूं और मेरी कंपनी मेडिकल इक्विपमेंट्स बनाने में ज्यादा कंफर्टेबल है, ऑल ऑफ सडन मुझे ये लगता है कि भाई आज की तारीख में नेक्सॉन की जो इलेक्ट्रिक व्हीकल है ये ज्यादा डिमांड में है, तो ऑल ऑफ ए सडन मैं इलेक्ट्रिकल व्हीकल सेगमेंट में जाऊंगा, तो आपको क्या लगता है मैं सक्सेस ले जाऊंगा? नहीं। पोर्टफोलियो मैनेजमेंट का मतलब ये है कि जिस भी प्रोडक्ट सेगमेंट में हूं, मैं उसी के नियर बाय सेगमेंट में अपनी सर्विसेज, अपने प्रोडक्ट को डिजाइन करूंगा। अगर मैं सेम टीम के साथ किसी दूसरे प्रोडक्ट सेगमेंट में या दूसरे प्रोडक्ट पोर्टफोलियो मैनेजमेंट में एंटर करूंगा विद द सेम टीम, so might be possible that the same team does not have expertise on that field also, that what would happen? I would lose the money that I have earned from my previous business. तो जो भी मैंने पैसा पहले बिजनेस से कमाया होगा वो पैसा मैं लूज कर जाऊंगा. So portfolio management, we should always talk about the product and services in which we are dealing earlier. You may go in the next portfolio, but with a different team. Market feasibility, competition, site analysis, all I have discussed. Here, it's a good example. Here you see the keyboards, the two keyboards. One keyboard is bigger in size. So smarter people come into the business, and he told that why you are making such big keyboards. Let us design a keyboard which is smaller in size, and that keyboard will not only low down the cost of the raw material, but it would look like fancy keyboard or smaller in size, easy to carry, easy to handle. But here you are observing the user, when it is typing, it getting a strain on the wrist. What would happen if the people will continue to type? Their wrist get strained, and that would not give a feeling of comfort. So what would happen? The end user get the feeling of dissatisfaction. And if it is not giving the comfort to the customer for the end user, what would happen? The people would not buy the product next time. So while designing, you should always focus the end user comfort rather than to low down the cost. Here you see a bike that people will or the people are used to buy in 80s, that people used to buy. Then in 2000 or 90s, these bikes were developed by the Hero Honda company, and now this bike is in fashion. All three products are dealing with the same kind of mechanism. This product is used for locomotion, for transportation, from moving one place to another place. But the first bike was not too much attracting the attention of the buyer in the present days. And the third one is peculiar, attractive, and giving comfortness. And apart from that, if you see these three simultaneously, the third one would attract your attention more precisely, more specifically, because of having more aesthetic value. You should design a product that looks good to your eyes, giving comfort to your rightness. So the people will not only attract, they would be willing to pay for your business. And there are two products. Nokia were a company that belongs to hardware, and when Android was developed, they approached Nokia, but Nokia at that time doesn't realize the power of the software or Android, and he was in a dilemma that I am a big company and you are a company, those who developed or taken birth 2 or 3 months back. You would try to compete our business. I won't go for it. So what would happen? Nokia didn't use the Android system, and that Android system taken by the Google, and that Google doesn't give that feature to the Nokia. So Nokia, in spite of having the big market share in the India mobile phone segmentation, they have been driven out from the market because the kind of innovative features were inculcated with the Android phones were not be matched or coped with the Nokia 3310 or Nokia 30 or Nokia 1100. So what the people stopped buying Nokia phone, and today Nokia phone is out of the market. They were trying to come back, but not. They would succeeded to come back. So here I would like to call it a day. Thanks for giving me the. If you have any question, please ask.
Sir, one student asked a question. So I would like to ask from you. The question is how to tackle with the local competition while doing a startup.
First one, you have to find out what kind of segmentation you are dealing with. If a startup is competing with the local companies, you have to find out the strength of that local company, on what strength this local company is getting the business. You have to find out the weakness of that local company and how you can overcome with their strength, and how you can modify your product that gives the competitive advantage of your product or your services on that local company. Then only you can survive, because they are having more market share than you. So you have to come up with a unique feature, unique services that that local company product doesn't have.
So nice of you, sir. Definitely, you have just enlightened our students and the participants lot many issues related with the startup, and which also shows that this all will be considered by the good leader and the quality leader. I can say the analysis must be done in a proper manner, and the segment in which you are going to start any product and startup, you should be very much aware of that particular whether it is demandable by the market and not. And you should provide the solution according to the needs of the user, not as per your comfort, that whatever you want to just provide it is good for the user is a customer. If he or she is comfortable with the product, or maybe suppose that it is useful or more user friendly, I can say, so then the customer will just welcome that product and just go for it. Otherwise a lot of competition with the similar type of product in the market. So, and also your example with the bikes, like if you're not changing yourself, your product with the time as per the requirement of the user, then you may be the like Nokia, you may be the out from the market, because like Nokia is supposing that sometimes in like 80s era, Nokia was the leader of the market of the mobiles, I can say. But nowadays, I can say that nobody generally purchase the phone of the Nokia, because it is not creating such a good smartphone, or just go the Android application. So I think the startup is the leader will have to decide that as per the changing demand of the market. He or she should change his project also. Otherwise, sometimes he may be the leader, and after some time, maybe nobody is just looking for that startup. Such a wonderful session and an interactive session, and such an informative session just given by you. And just I'm very much thankful for you that you spare such a your precious time with our participant, and give a lot of knowledge to our participant. So nice of you, Dr. Amit Rai, sir. So nice of you. I'm just thanking again and again that, sir, we again just have such a another wonderful session on another topic, because our participants are also very much satisfied that we just have such a wonderful knowledge. Thank you.
Sir.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much.